All right, we've gone through the whole journey of human reproduction, and now we're here at the grand finale, the moment of birth. Today, we're diving into parturition, that's childbirth, and lactation, the amazing biological processes that support a new life from its very first breath. So, a pregnancy is like a 9-month marathon of incredible growth and preparation. But every marathon has a finish line. The real question is, what fires the starting pistol for birth to begin? That's really the big question, isn't it? And the answer isn't some simple timer or a date on a calendar. It's actually a super complex and perfectly timed conversation happening between the nervous system and hormones. It's a neuroendocrine signal that basically says, okay, it's time. So where does this all-important signal come from? Well, it turns out the one who's been patiently waiting this whole time is actually the one who kicks the whole thing off. Let's take a look at who sends that very first message. This is what's so fascinating to me. The baby isn't just a passive passenger waiting for an eviction notice. Nope. The fully developed fetus, along with the placenta, actually sends the very first signals to begin childbirth. It's an active participant right from the get-go. These initial signals from the baby trigger something called the fetal ejection reflex. You can think of it as the first gentle nudge. Now, these are just mild uterine contractions, but they are incredibly important because they're the start of a really powerful chain reaction. And that chain reaction, we can call it the oxytocin cascade. This is the part of the story where a single hormone steps onto the stage and just drives the entire process forward with unbelievable force. So that first mild contraction, that fetal ejection reflex, sends a message straight to the mother's pituitary gland. And the response? A release of the hormone oxytocin. You can think of oxytocin as the accelerator pedal for labor, and the body is about to floor it. And this is where the process gets really, really clever. Oxytocin makes the uterine muscles contract more strongly. But then, those stronger contractions send a signal back to the brain to release even more oxytocin. It's a classic positive feedback loop. It's kind of like holding a microphone up to a speaker. A tiny sound just explodes into a powerful force. This quote from our source material really says it all. This cycle doesn't just repeat itself, it builds in builds. Each wave of contractions becomes more powerful than the last one, all thanks to this self-amplifying hormonal loop. And the end result of this ever-strengthening cascade? The expulsion of the baby from the uterus. This is the process we call parturition, or childbirth. It's just a beautifully engineered system designed to do one specific thing. And shortly after the baby's delivered, the placenta is also expelled, which completes the process. Okay, so keeping in mind how this whole natural process works, here's a little question for you. When labor needs a bit of a push to get started or to keep progressing, what do you think doctors might use to induce it? You got it. It's oxytocin. Medical science literally harnesses the body's own powerful mechanism. By giving a dose of oxytocin, doctors can kickstart or strengthen that very same positive feedback loop to help ensure a safe delivery. But hey, the story doesn't end when the baby arrives. The mother's body has already been preparing for the next critical phase, providing the absolute perfect first meal for the newborn. So we really have these two final incredible processes. Parturition is all about the delivery, but lactation is the equally complex and amazing process that sustains that new life, providing not just food, but also protection and a foundation for growth. And the body is always thinking one step ahead. This preparation for lactation doesn't just start after birth. Oh no. During pregnancy, hormones like prolactin are busy telling the mammary glands to develop and get ready so that the moment the baby arrives, its first meal is ready and waiting. Now, the very first milk that's produced isn't what you'd call ordinary milk. It's this super concentrated special substance called colostrum. And for very good reason, people often call it liquid gold for a newborn. So what makes colostrum so powerful? Well, it is absolutely packed with essential antibodies. These provide what's called passive immunity, giving the newborn an immediate, ready-to-go defense system. It's basically the baby's first line of defense against the outside world, helping it build up resistance right away. This initial protection is so crucial, so vital, that it actually forms the basis of a major medical recommendation for making sure babies get the healthiest possible start in life. And this is exactly why there's such a strong consensus among doctors. They overwhelmingly recommend breastfeeding, especially during that initial period, because of the unique and frankly irreplaceable protection and nutrition it provides for a developing baby. A really simple way to think about it is that colostrum is basically the newborn's first immunization. And beyond that, the whole process of breastfeeding helps promote this powerful emotional bond between mother and child, a connection that's just so important for healthy development. It's nutrition, protection, and connection, all in one package.
You know, when you take a step back and look at the whole picture, from the tiny fetus sending the first chemical signal to the powerful hormonal cascade of birth, all the way to the body producing this perfectly formulated nutrition, it is just a true marvel of coordinated biological engineering.
Ultimately, parturition and lactation aren't just isolated events. As our source material concludes, they are incredibly sophisticated, time-tested mechanisms that evolution has perfected over millions of years to ensure the survival and continuation of our species. It all just comes down to this intricate, beautiful hormonal dance that ensures our very beginning. Which kind of leaves us with one final thought. If this much complex, invisible communication is happening just to bring us into the world, what other biological conversations are shaping our bodies and our lives, right at this very moment, without us even knowing?